And just like that, the misery is over. How is it going, Dolphins fans? And welcome to Finn's Temporal Focus. And for a few of the people that still had hope for this season, last night, that hope is gone. And it died in an embarrassing 28-3. Yeah, it was 28-3. I don't care. 28-15. Yeah. I wasn't actually going to talk about this game, and I apologize. It was really late last night by the time I could really get in to do the video, and then I worked today. So just now getting this out to you guys, and I apologize. It's just, that's the way life is right now. But I wasn't even really going to go over, because there's a lot of stuff that has happened today and a lot of stuff that we're going to have to talk about. Including Tua Tagovailoa, which we will start. And if you don't watch the game, you look at this and you go, hey, Tua played pretty good. He did not. He did not. He was 22 of 28, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, garbage time touchdowns. Did not mean, and even those touchdowns, he threw one up for grabs. Darren Waller basically just boxed out. It probably should have even been a PI, but it wouldn't have mattered. Great job, by the way, by Waller. But that one looked rough. And then the other one was actually a decent, it was a good pass. The one right before the end of the game, I guess you'd say, if you want to believe that the game was still technically going on, I guess. Sorry, we'll get back into some of the stats. Achane, 12 for 60 yards, 5 yards per carry. He also had 6 carries, 67 yards. Of course, Waller, 7 catches, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Greg Dulcich, 2 catches for 46 yards. Terrell Dotson, had 8 tackles, 2 assists, led the team. And of course, Jordan Brooks, 7 tackles, 6 assists. He also had the sack. He also had a horrible, unsportsmanlike standing over the receiver after he hit him. It looked bad. Mike McDaniel went off about it, but he did do it. I don't really know what the argument is there. It's a stupid call, but it is the right call, because that's what the NFL is now. Jack Jones, 6 tackles, 2 assists, and then Fitzpatrick, 5 tackles, 1 assist, and a horrible. I don't know what he was. He was running with the back and just kind of like bumps him to get him to go out of bounds at one point in the game. I don't know. It almost looked like he was jogging beside of him. Didn't look good. The defense did play well, and also the Dolphins had 3 sacks. Sealer, Biggers, which congratulations to Biggers, 7th round pick. I think that was his 2nd sack of the year. If is either his 2nd or 3rd. Logan. It's okay. Sorry. Logan's playing a video game, so he's like yelling at the TV behind me. Logan is my stepson, by the way. Great kid. They're all great kids. You met him on Halloween. Yeah, you met all of my kids on Halloween. Moving on. we'll go ahead and get into the Steelers, which they dominated this game. The first half, the Dolphins' defense played pretty well. Steelers didn't score until the end of the second quarter. So the defense kept the Dolphins in it, and then we'll talk about the third quarter real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the game. Rodgers, 23 of 27, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Kenneth Gainwell. And I talked about him in the preview of this game, about he was the power guy, had like 4.2 yard. No, it was better than that. Anyway, 13 carries, 80 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. Also had 7 catches for 46 yards. He was a absolute beast in last night's game. DK Metcalf, 3 catches, 55 yards, a touchdown that basically he just bulled his way over the Dolphin defense. You also had Pat Freiermuth, I believe is the way you pronounce his name, 3 for 45 yards. And then Valdez Scantling had the other touchdown for the Dolphins. And I didn't even talk about Jonnu Smith had a rushing touchdown for the Steelers. And of course, salt in the wound. Ramsey gets the sack. Patrick Queen had 9 tackles, 1 assist. Ramsey 4 tackles, 2 assists, and of course the big sack. And then overall, Cameron Hayward had a sack, Peyton Wilson had a sack, and Asazi Ottoman, I believe is the way you pronounce his name, had a sack, and of course Ramsey. And then Asante Samuel Jr. had the horrible interception where Tua just I don't know anymore. There's so much talk about the receivers not in the right place. I think he just didn't see him. I thought he was trying to hit Waddle on the out, and Samuel was just closer than he. Of course, another rainbow by Tua, no power behind it. And that is where we will get into this. I'm not going to really talk about the overall stats. I wrote them down, but there's no real point. They dominated us. They absolutely dominated us in every aspect of this game. The big thing, the third quarter, is when Pittsburgh took over. And the Dolphins' offense had negative 20 yards in the third quarter. I don't know anymore. I really don't. And granted, Tua, a lot of people's already, Tua's got to go. But a lot of people are already talking about they want Tua gone. It is time to move on from Tua. I don't know what the issue is, but it does not look good. He has not played well at all this season. And I really wanted him to turn it around. But I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if it's a head issue. And when I say head, I'm not talking about concussion. Maybe a linger over concussions, maybe. But I mean, I'm talking his head, just inside his head. He threw a touchdown to Waller, the first one. He stood there like he was just debating. Am I going to just throw this up? There was another pass that he threw to Ingle where he's running up and he's staring at Ingle. And it seemed like it took forever for him to finally throw the ball. Of course, by that time, there's defenders all over Alec Ingle. Not that Ingle's going to make be a big difference in this game. I'm just making the point that it seems like it's not only injury, it seems like a real decision-making issue for Tua at this point. So, yeah, it's time to move on, and I hate it because I love Tua as a person. Mike McDaniel came out in the presser today. He was asked if Tua is going to be the starter going forward, and he said the quarterback play is not good enough. Well, duh. It has been obvious. Even in our wins, Tua has not played well. He's had like 2 or 3 decent, and I'm not even talking about good games. I'm just talking about decent games this year. And I kept hoping that something would click, something would turn around. And it just has not happened. I don't know if it is the relationship with him and McDaniel. I really don't know. I don't know if it's a lingering injury. I don't know if he's lost confidence. I don't know what it is. And I'm not going to make excuses in that. He is a shell of himself right now. At the same time, you can't move on from Tua because they gave him that stupid contract, which I did not want them to give him, but it is what it is. You're stuck with it. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, you paid Wilson $6 million, so is he going to be? No, you don't start Wilson. And it does not matter what Tua is making. Now you have to think about the future of your football team. So Quinn Ewers needs to be your starter for the next 3 games going out of the season. Because you need to see what he's got. You know what Tua is. It's that simple. You know what Tua is. He's going to probably be here next year. But it needs to be an open competition next year. And you need to see what you've got in Quinn Ewers in these next 3 games. If we draft somebody, that's fine. I don't really see anybody out there that we're going to be able to draft. Fernando, I think it's Fernando. The one quarterback that everybody is raving about, and I will get more into the college players. I don't think we should draft a quarterback, first and foremost. I really don't. Or if we do, I think it needs to be 2nd, 3rd round. I think this draft, you build around pieces. You continue to help your offensive line. You maybe get a defensive back. You get some pieces in place. And then in 2027, even if you have a late pick, there's going to be a flourish of quarterbacks coming out in 2027. In 2027. But there's no point in... You've got to build up the front before you just throw in another quarterback to be riddled by this offensive line. Now, the offensive line has played better. And you've got Patrick Paul. You have pieces set. The other one, now there's guys I think you shut down, and you shut them down now for these last 3 games. One is Aaron Brewer, who has played his butt off for this team. Shut him down. He has a neck injury, a foot injury, a knee injury. Shut him down now. There's no reason for him to play. And then there's a few other players. He's just the first one that pops in my head that you really need to shut him down now. Tua, you shut down for different reasons. He just has not played well. You need to see what you have in Quinn Ewers. So that is where we stand. And Mike McDaniel is not absent from guilt in this game. This team was not ready to play. The defense seemed ready to play. But this offense was absolute stagnant until the 4th quarter when Pittsburgh did not care. Do not let those 12 points that they scored in that 4th quarter. And then, why is it you cannot run a hurry up. He actually talked about this in his press conference, that we didn't run a hurry up because they didn't feel they could get set. They didn't feel that they could be ready. Somebody explain this one to me. You have to be able to run a hurry-up offense in the NFL. And the Dolphins have not been great with it under Mike McDaniel, but I've always thought of it as just a lack of urgency. But after hearing this, I start in my brain going, are you saying that your offense is not built for a hurry up? Or are you saying Tua can't run the hurry up? I don't understand. I don't understand what he's saying. And I'm not trying to drown him on this one. I seriously, leave a comment. I don't understand what he's saying in this. Your offense has to be able, and the urgency, there's been several games where the urgency, when the Dolphins needed to play a little bit fast pace, it seemed like, no, they're just running their offense. They're huddling up. They're not really. There should be sets where you know this is what we're doing in a 2-minute drill. There should be 2-minute drills set up where it should not be long-winded plays. You should be able to say Z slant, X curl. I don't understand. I've never seen a team that could not run a hurry-up offense. And the Dolphins can run a hurry-up offense, is not what I'm saying. They can do it. But even when they've done a hurry-up offense under McDaniel, it has a lack of urgency. They're still huddling. You hardly ever see them just run to the line and Tua trying to call out. I mean, it happens. He did it, but even Troy Aikman was complaining that, what are you doing? You're not. It's like you're just not trying. But this is where we are, folks. We got 3 games to go: Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, and New England. For the people that are wanting the Dolphins to get a high pick, we are at 11 right now. We would need, we might be able to get into the top 10 if they completely collapse. Maybe even top 5 if they completely collapse and don't win another game. And maybe a couple of teams get past us. I don't care about that. I've said it. I don't care. It doesn't matter where you pick. It matters who you pick. And there's too many times I've seen number 1 picks go that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've seen great players all through the first round. You just got to pick the right guy. And I'm not talking about quarterbacks. I'm talking about just players. Just players. I don't think we need to, unless the right guy is there. Something happens in college where there's somebody you can look at and go, hey, he's got a real upside. I don't think you do anything in the first round. I think you go after either a defensive back or you try to keep strengthening that offensive line. Wouldn't hurt to get another right guard. I don't know what Daniel is going to do. Of course, he missed most of the season. Of course, you have Jackson, who missed a lot of the season. He's been injury prone. He's coming up on, we should have him next year, but he's going to be coming up to the end of his contract. You got Patrick Paul. You got, of course, Savaiinaea has not played well this season, but it is his rookie year. You got to give him a couple of years, if not 3 years, to really say that he's a bust. I don't know that he's a bust quite yet. But guys, leave a comment. First of all, on the Mike McDaniel thing, hey, leave a comment. Just say why or in. Yes, Mike McDaniel needs to go. No, Mike McDaniel needs to stay. I'm really torn with that one, because when I see games like this, he's still making the same mistakes he did his rookie year as head coach. That's what bothers me. We're still horrible timeout timing, calling timeouts when you shouldn't have to at that point. His challenges have been completely awful, and you can honestly say, hey, he just needs to fire whoever is telling him to challenge a lot of these plays. But again, that is on him. If somebody is sending down for him to challenge a play and it's not working, then you need to get somebody else to be calling down to you to say challenge this play, because that hasn't worked. The timeouts haven't worked. Giving up on the run constantly. Bubble screens out the wazoo. Now, a lot of people believe that the bubble screens are because of Tua. If that's true, then we need to see what Mike McDaniel can do with another quarterback. Because the quarterbacks we've brought in, horrible. Tua is the best option of anybody we've brought in. Next year, whether it's a rookie or whether we sign somebody, there needs to be an open competition at quarterback, and Mike McDaniel needs to take that opportunity to see, for us to see, what can you do now, because Tua is not the answer. So if you're going to keep Mike McDaniel, and we're going to run this back, because Tua will be here as well, unless they can trade him. But even if they trade him at this point, nobody's going to pay that salary. We might get a 6th round pick for him, maybe a 5th, and I think that's stretching it. So if we do trade him, we're still going to be paying him. May as well keep him, let him play through this last year, but bring in somebody, and in the preseason and in OTAs, you let them compete. Whether it's a rookie, whether you bring somebody in, I don't care. But Mike McDaniel was right about one thing. The quarterback play was not good enough. It has not been good enough all year. And I am a Tua supporter. I like Tua as a person. I've said it over and over again. I didn't want him when we drafted him. But I did like him once I got to know him as a person. Then you have the 2023 year where he kind of lights it up. I was still skeptical, but I'm going, hey, I defended him in the sense of, especially people with, well, he's a spot thrower. All quarterbacks are spot throwers. That's such a stupid argument. But now you're seeing rainbows. I understand he didn't have a strong arm. Well, there's a lot of quarterbacks that didn't have a strong arm that had really good careers. I've done videos on them. Steve DeBerg had a good career. Joe Montana didn't have a great arm. I mean, there's plenty of guys that didn't have strong arm, but they still could throw the ball without it being a... So, yeah, it's over. It's time to see what Quinn Ewers can do. And if they're going to bring back Mike McDaniel, they've got to bring in another quarterback. Whether it's through the draft, whether it is a free agent, but they've got to have somebody, and it has to be somebody that can challenge. And if Tua wins it out, hey, I'll be the first one again. I've said it a billion times. If I'm wrong, I'll come on here and tell you guys I'm wrong. And I gave up on Tua too soon. But right now, I can't see it because he's not even playing well. He wasn't playing well when we were winning games. And tonight was, especially the third quarter, was an embarrassment. The offense didn't play good in the first half, period. But the third quarter was an absolute embarrassment. And that's from head coach to quarterback throughout. And the defense just said, you know what, screw it. And I don't blame them. I really do not blame them. I mean, what are we doing here? So yeah, I felt bad for the defense. The defense early on played very well in this game. I think it just got to a point after those last, couple of touchdowns there in the third quarter. It was just like I don't think they have confidence in their quarterback, and I don't know if they have confidence in their head coach. That's a them question. But we are definitely at fins up for the future. And I will be here every step of the way. I will be here for the Cincinnati game. I will be here regardless, and we will talk about all of it. And I hope Quinn Ewers gets his shot. The only thing that scares me is because I do think they're going to shut down. Probably Jackson is going to be gone. Of course, Patrick Paul would be the left tackle. So we would see how well he can do with a right-handed quarterback, just because that's going to be his blind side, is Patrick Paul's side. But Jackson's probably going to get shut down. I would definitely shut down Aaron Brewer. Without question, I would shut him down. And then everybody else, if you've got a bit of a nick, hey, don't play that game. Just sit out. If you feel pretty good, play. But if not, let these young guys have a shot. That's the only thing you can do. But that's where we are. Again, leave a comment. If nothing else, like I said, Y or N. Yes, Mike McDaniel should be fired. No, he should not. Okay? I don't think he's going to be fired. I think they're going to run this thing back. I think they like Mike McDaniel. And I'm okay. I go back and forth on it. I hate that he's making the same mistakes. This is his fourth year. And he's still making the same mistakes. Definition of crazy. But that being said, here we are. And guys, make good decisions and fins up for the future.